Welcome to Meetinghouse Arts, and welcome to Friday night in downtown Freeport. We're working on some activities after hours here. So my name's Suzanne Watson. I'm the executive director here at Meetinghouse Arts. My great pleasure to do that. Thank you very much for coming out on a really kind of cold and chilly evening, but we're going to warm everything up here very, very fast. You might notice, too, that we are filming tonight. We are filming as many of these performances as we can. They will be preserved in video on the Freeport Cable Television, Channel 3. It will be there. In fact, there are many of our recordings from here on that channel for your pleasure. The Ladies of Flame, the new Ladies of Flame that was just performed 2 weeks ago is up. So if you want to hear that, please, it's free. So I want to thank some sponsors tonight. We have three what we call season sponsors. They're Bath Savings, Kennebec Savings, and Pet Pantry. So give them a hand. And our show sponsor for tonight is Zachow Construction, and I'm very, very pleased. This is the second time they've supported a performance, so give them a hand. We have two shows still left in the season. After this one tonight, we have Bailey's Mistake, and if you ever want to hear the bagpipe player of a lifetime, this band has a great bagpipe player, so I would highly recommend you look for tickets soon. We also have Laura Cargill and Callie Brennan on June 6th. That'll be the last performance before we move to our music in the park because we have no air conditioning in the building. So we move to the outdoors. So we have Winslow Park on Thursday afternoon starting in July and through August, and we have Memorial Park, which we're very much looking forward to. We have a full season, so we'll have stage cards out for those soon. But now I just want to introduce, forgive me, there's one other really important thing. We have a birthday this evening, and Derek Ebert. And I don't know if you know Derek, but Derek Ebert is his birthday today, and I'd love to give him a round of applause. But meantime, you're here to see Erica Brown and the Bluegrass Connection, so please welcome them to the stage.
Good evening, everybody. Not yet. Check one, two. There we go. Good evening, everybody. How are we doing out there? Good. Thank you all for coming, and sorry to everybody that had to hang out in the lobby a little longer than you had planned. We had a lot of ghosts in the system today, let's just say, and so sound check was excruciating. On our end, we have some equipment that we're going to have to go home and do some research on.
It was our fault.
Yep. So, technology, it works, right? No, not when you need it to. But anyways, we are psyched to be here and really appreciate you guys all coming out. And thanks to Meetinghouse Arts for having us back. We always look forward to this show every year. This is such a beautiful place to play music, and so we're going to do just that. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4.
very much.
All right, well, we're going to stay in the same key here and make it easier on these guys so they don't have to move their capos around. And we're going to do a song that was recorded by Alison Krauss. I'm sure there has to be an Alison Krauss fan in the audience tonight, right? So she's on tour again. Is anybody going to see her? Yes. We are too. Oh my God. We saw her last September, and that show was just so inspiring and amazing. So there's still tickets available. You guys haven't missed the boat yet. You should do it. But anyways, I'm a huge fan of Alison Krauss, and been obsessed with her music since I was really little. And I started playing fiddle when I was 6 years old, and I got to meet her when I was about 7. And we saw her at a little venue in Portland. I grew up in Lewiston. My parents drove me down to Portland to see her play. And at Raoul's. Remember Raoul's? Yeah. Little 7-year-old me walking into a bar to see Alison Krauss. It was awesome. But we stalked her in the parking lot after the show, because you could do that in the early 90s. Can't do that anymore. And waited for her to come out and marched right up to her and introduced myself and told her that I had just started to play fiddle. And she asked me if I brought it with me, and of course I did, because I didn't leave the house without it. Slightly obsessed. And so she asked me to go get it, and so I did. And she marched me up onto her tour bus, and I played her rousing version of Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And she was just so incredibly sweet and encouraging, and it really meant a lot to me. And so, huge fan of her music to this day, and really appreciate her taking the time to do that. And so yeah, you can blame her for why I make my living doing this now. So yeah, we're going to do a song that she recorded back in the day. It's called Lose Again.
Trains
Thank you very much. Well, we're going to introduce the mandolin player to you now, and he's going to sing you a number that he wrote. Matt's been doing a lot of songwriting for many years now, and we like to include a few of those in each of our concerts, so we're going to feature one of those next. It's actually recorded on our latest album, but we're going to hand it over to this guy. Make him welcome. This is Matt Shipman, everybody.
Thank you, Erica. Thanks for coming out tonight. Like Erica said, we're always happy to be here. What a great thing to have in Freeport. Amazing. So thanks for all being here. We're going to do a song that we recorded, like Erica said. It's a historical song about the old Cumberland and Oxford Canal, which I discovered. Well, it had been around for a while, but I found out about it walking around in the trails behind our house where Erica and I live in Portland. There's some wonderful trails, and there were some informational signs that the Portland Trail System had put up, and I started reading about it and got interested in the story about all the Irish and other immigrants who built that canal by hand, going from the Stroudwater Basin in Portland all the way to Sebago Lake and beyond, and all the hard work that went into that, and the horses and the mules that pulled the boats. The whole thing was fascinating to me. So did a little research at the library and came up with a song. So hope you like this one. It's called See You Know.
Cassidy from Blaney Town, and my story I'd like to tell about some hard work done long ago while building the casino. Moving lumber, dry goods and logs, hogshead barrels, treacle the road. Can't go by wagon, the road's too slow, so we're building the casino. We work them all, from horse beef to Dundee, from Gambo up to Hardin's and the Condom Factory. My boys and I, we worked tighter than the tree nails, we worked harder than the day is long. The agents would never know we were working on the casino. The locks, boys, we blasted rock, picks and shovels, barrels and carts. We worked in the rain and sleet and snow while we're building the casino. 34 by 18 wide, digging lock pits and setting sides. We're moving earth and ballast stone while we're building the casino. Those canal boats, champion flipjack, pulled by mules and horses on the old towpath from the coast all the way up to Songo. Tom and Abe pulled with all they had, 30-ton cargo. They were working on the casino. End while working lock number 10. The hitch weight failed, the block came down. We had to dig him half out of the ground. And I'll tell you boys, it's a tough way to go. For $2 a day we pay. Shanty towns, your home, the work is hard and the pay is low, so fare thee well, boys. Here there's work on the new railroad. I ain't working on the casino no more. I ain't working on the casino.
All right, well, we're going to slow things down here just a wee bit and play you a waltz that I wrote a few years ago now. And I was around a full moon, and I was having some trouble sleeping in the middle of the night for whatever reason. Blame the moon on that. And for some reason, I just started thinking about all these older fiddle players I grew up listening to and learning from and playing with. And started to become a little bit sad when I realized that most of them are no longer here anymore. So somehow little bits and pieces of this tune kind of came to me over the course of the next couple of nights. And usually you're supposed to get up when this happens and go record it or write it down. And I was too cozy to do that, so I didn't. But somehow I woke up in the morning and they were still there. So I guess it was meant to be. This is also on our latest album. It's called The Moonstruck Waltz. you so much. Appreciate that. All right, well, we are going to turn the microphone over here to our guitar player. And we already have some Lincoln fans in the audience. This is good. Did he pay you to come out tonight or something?
Say what?
Oh, nothing.
Are you talking about me?
No, nothing. But Lincoln and I have been playing music together for over 25 years now, which I know is really hard to believe because neither one of us look a day over 20.
That's right.
But that's all right.
What are you laughing at?
And he's, I kind of think he's like the Tony Rice of New England. Right?
Thank you.
Our very own Tony
That's a huge
Rice,
compliment.
right? And if you guys have seen us perform before, you might recognize he's got a different guitar with him tonight. I call this the old gal, and she doesn't make it out of the house so much.
No, she doesn't.
But she's an old guitar, and she needs to be taken care of.
That's right.
But I'm awfully glad to see her up here tonight. She sounds so good. Anyways, this is Lincoln Meyers, everybody.
Thank you very much. This next tune we're going to do is, this was a poem originally, and turned to music. And it's about a hobo, and I hope you all enjoy it. It's called Grapes on a Vine. 1, 2, 3. That birds don't sing to people. They're secrets you keep right through to the end. They're heroes that hide until forever. And I'm singing this song for one of them. He's the man that you passed on the road there, the one with his life on the loose, going either somewhere or nowhere, going without me, without you. For he's this world's constant orphan, traveling out his long time, living on apples from orchards, and dying from grapes on the vine. Him in big city winters, down where the mission bell cries, and sorrow echoes through summer as he tries to close all his eyes. And he dreamed of his railroad existence as if it were some kind of dream, as if the extent of the distance were what his heart would call him. You can find him in Pittsburgh at Christmas. You can find him in Buffalo in June. And he knows all the back roads between them. Like a gypsy, he pulls a broom. And it's Route 22 all over again. Stick your thumb out and try to look like somebody's friend. Look strong at the man, smile for the girl, puzzle at the rest of the world. For he's this world's constant orphan, traveling out his long time, living on apples and orchards, and dying from grapes on the vine. He's living on apples from orchards, and dying from grapes on the vine.
That's Lincoln Meyers, everybody.
All right. Well, we're going to play a song that we got from Newgrass Revival. Any Newgrass Revival fans out there? I'm sure there's got to be a few if you're at this kind of show. You probably know about them. Yeah, this song kind of snuck up on me. I didn't know about it. I was researching another song, and this popped up while I was doing that, and I was like, "This is a fun one." And Erica's mission lately is to find nice songs in bluegrass, and that's hard to do sometimes. You know, these old traditional murder ballads and stuff that we sing sometimes. But we do pretty good in this band. But you know, we got to watch ourselves. But this particular song is very happy and hopeful, and it's a trio, which means Erica and I and Lincoln are going to attempt to sing the same words on different notes for the entirety.
I like how you said it, attempt. We're going to attempt to sing this.
We're going to attempt, so see how we do. It's called This Heart of Mine.
This heart of mine is made of silver. This heart of mine is made of gold. And it will shine like a candle when your world is dark and cold. When your world is dark and cold. This heart of mine is made of timber. This heart of mine is made of stone. Like a bridge across the mountain when you're walking all alone. When you're walking all alone. This heart of mine is made of steel, and it won't turn towards another when the wind is on the hill. When the wind is on the hill. This heart of mine is made of silver. This heart of mine is made of gold. And it will shine like a candle when your world is dark and cold. When your world is dark and cold.
See, a nice song in bluegrass. There we go.
They do exist. Well, you know, we get asked to play weddings sometimes, and you know, nobody wants to hear about cheating and lying and dying and
Going down by the river and all that.
like,
It's mostly
you know,
murder.
So, you know, we got to clean up our act a little bit when we play weddings. So, there you go.
That's right. Yeah, just, you know, back in the day when we started playing weddings and we had our sort of regular repertoire, we're like, wow, are they listening to the words? I kind of hope not. But eventually we changed our tune a little bit.
It's got a pretty melody, though.
It does have a pretty melody. This song is another, I guess, this is a nice song too. This is a kind of a nostalgic song, I guess. I got from Hot Rise and Tim O'Brien, and one of my favorite bands and singer-songwriters and mandolin players is Tim O'Brien, and Hot Rise is still a great band, but is still around. But anyways, this is one from an old album, and I've always just liked this song and kind of let it rest for a long time, but recently brought it back out, thought it would be fun to play. It's called Bending Blades.
1,
days, tall grass blowing in the breeze, shining in the sun. Lonely days, and I keep going to the place we went when we were young. And all I saw, flowers growing, all I heard are 3 words that you spoke. A blinded heart, never knowing that the dream would die when I awoke. In those days our lives were simple. Now it's yours and you were mine. And I was wrong to try and hold too tightly, to tie you to my side. Bending blades, tall grass blowing in the breeze, shining in the sun. Lonely days, and I keep going to the place we went when we were young. Times beat down on me still, I hold that dream up high. Bending blades, tall grass blowing in the breeze, shining in the sun. Lonely days, and I keep going to the place we went when we were young. Shining in the sun. Lonely days, and I keep going to the place we went when we were young. Lonely days, and I keep going to the place we went when we were young.
All right, well, we're going to try another instrumental for you now that I learned off of an old Kenny Baker album. And
Who's Kenny Baker?
Kenny Baker. Who is Kenny Baker? Kenny Baker is an amazing bluegrass fiddle player who played with Bill Monroe for over 20 years. And so I got into bluegrass a little later in life. I was 12. But I started when I was 6, and I started with Suzuki method, and then I moved into Franco-American, fiddle tunes, and so that's why I'm making a joke about it, because I came into it much later, and kind of by accident, actually. But anyways, when I got interested in bluegrass music, people kept giving me Kenny Baker albums to listen to. And when I say albums, I mean literal albums, the round things that go around.
33s.
Yeah.
LPs.
And so, and then, YouTube was a thing, and you could watch him play, and so I've been stealing Kenny Baker tunes and licks for my whole life almost. But this is a song that I believe he said he learned from his dad. And when I got into bluegrass, one of the things I really noticed, and Kenny Baker was really good at this, was the long bow. Like, they just use a lot of bow, and they slur a lot, and so I tried to always imitate his bowing when I got into bluegrass. And I actually got to meet Kenny Baker when I was about 10 or 11. And,
you played with him?
Yeah, a little bit. Well,
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, more than a little bit.
Well, yeah, so I met him at Blistered Fingers, the Bluegrass Festival, and again, I had just gotten into bluegrass, and so, I didn't really know any bluegrass tunes at that time. I was just sort of getting to understand what bluegrass music even was. And he was playing at Blistered Fingers, and so we went to see him, and again, I marched right up to him backstage and introduced myself and told him I was a big fan of his playing, and I was just getting into bluegrass. I was a very brave child. I would never do those things now as an adult. But anyway, so he sat me on his knee and he's like, well, tell me what you do, and da-da-da-da-da. And so I told him I was like mostly playing French Canadian fiddle tunes, and he's like, well, go get your fiddle and play me something. So I did. And he invited me to play a tune during one of his sets, and I thought that was really cool. And my favorite memory of that is I finished playing, and he walked back up on stage and shook my hand and said, I'm gonna break every little finger she's got.
It's a compliment, I guess.
Okay, that's a funny sense of humor, but I like it.
Yeah, actually, you can see this video. There's a video of this on YouTube somewhere.
Yes,
I've heard playing.
there is proof of this.
So check it out if you can find it.
Just look up Kenny Baker, Blistered Fingers, 1994. Scroll into about 18 minutes, and there you go. Oh, it's kind of funny to look back and watch that, actually. All right, so here we go. We digress. But this is a tune called The Denver Bell. That's Eli Gilbert on the banjo, everybody. All right, well, we're going to play one more song for you, then we're going to take a very short break, and you guys can grab a beverage. We also have some merchandise at the back of the room in the form of CDs, as well as stickers and magnets. That's about all I'm willing to drag around to all our shows. Sorry about that, folks. And more importantly, though, back there we have an email list. And if you jot down your email address or scan the little QR code back there, we will be very happy to send you our monthly newsletter, which will have all kinds of information that you might find interesting, as well as our upcoming performances, of which we have many this year because we're just getting started. So we hope that you will sign up for that. We also have some exciting news to share, which we're not allowed to share yet, but we're eagerly waiting. And if you sign up for the newsletter, you'll be the first to hear about it. So just a little carrot there for you. All right, so we're going to end this first set with a newer song for us. We've got a bunch of new material to share with you in the second set, so please don't go anywhere. But this is a song that I heard off an old Lynn Morris album from back in the 90s. And her husband, Marshall Wilburn, is the one that sang this song on the album. And I just always get a little chuckle because every time Marshall would sing a song, it had this little bit of wisdom in there somehow. And anyway, so we're going to try it for you now. It's called Ain't Necessarily So.
Chickens, and you can break your neck to keep your ducks all in a row. Don't think every chance you take has to mean a new mistake. It ain't necessarily so. Depending on the soil and the season, you can plant a seed and you can watch it grow, but you can't have a guarantee for everything that ought to be. That ain't necessarily so. So I laugh when I can and I live with the rest. And I've learned that holding on means letting go. And I try to be a friend to the person on my left. They say you just can't be too careful who you know, but that ain't necessarily so. Basing all the rules on the proof that you can show, but I can't get my business back that I base on all those facts. That ain't necessarily so. So I laugh when I can and I live with the rest. And I've learned that holding on means letting go. And I try to be a friend to the person on my left. They say you just can't be too careful who you know, necessarily so. And every time I follow what I'm feeling, I always wind up where my heart would have me go. 'Cause there's one rule trust, that everything outside your good ain't necessarily so. So I laugh when I can and I live with the rest. And I've learned that holding on means letting go. And I try to be a friend to the person on my left. They say you just can't be too careful who you know, but that ain't necessarily so. The rest, and I've learned that holding on means letting go. And I try to be a friend to the person on my left. They say you just can't be too careful who you know, that ain't necessarily so.
Thank you all so much. We'll be right back after a very short break. Thank you guys so much. Thank you guys for sticking around, and we're going to play you some more music here.
Sure. Yeah, thank you. How you guys doing tonight, by the way? Never asked you that. Thanks for coming out. This is really fun. Yeah, we're going to try a song we've played only once or twice so far. It's a new song that I wrote, and we're giving it a try. And it's kind of a worker's song, I guess. I had this idea, had this melody that went with this idea I had, and thought we'd put it to music. And it's just kind of about, standing together when things are wrong and lifting your voice with other people. And strength in numbers kind of song, I guess. And it's called Iron Yard.
Trying to drop my pay. Can't go to work without getting hurt. Think I'll stay home today. Not even worth the pay. Woke up at dawn the last 30 years. Woke up again today. The company's just not listening. They can't buy us away from the union today. Think it's time we learned our rules. We won't be taken for a fool. Everything we're working for is slowly stripped away. Hear what we got to say. Feel like a mule, work like a fool for a fee. Stall. Can't afford to live, can't afford to die. If it's not right, it's wrong. Can't you hear us singing this song? We think it's time we learned our rules. We won't be taken for a fool. Everything we're working for is slowly stripped away. Hear what we got to say. Living. We shouldn't have to be this way. Now we all got something to say. We think it's time we learned our rules. We won't be taken for a fool. But everything we're working for is slowly stripped away. Hear what we got to say.
So much. Well, the secret is out that we have a birthday boy in the audience tonight. Derek's back there somewhere. There he is. Well, he made a special birthday request earlier, so we're going to do that for him now. It's a beautiful old song that was a huge hit for Ian and Sylvia back in the 60s. Been recorded by many artists since then, and I recorded my own little version of the song about 20 years ago now. And I never seem to get tired of singing it, so I was glad to have Derek request this one. We hope you enjoy our version of it. It's called Someday Soon.
There's a young man that I know whose age is 21. He comes from down in southern Colorado, just out of he's looking for is fun, and someday soon I'm going with him someday soon. My parents cannot stand him 'cause he rides the rodeo. Father says that he will leave me crying, but I would follow him right down the roughest road I know, and someday soon I'm going with him someday soon. When he comes to call, my boy ain't got a good word to say. I guess it's 'cause he was just as wild in his younger days. So blow you old blue northern, blow my love to me. He's driving in tonight from California. He loves his damned old rodeo as much as he loves me, and someday soon I'm going with him someday soon. When he comes to call, my boy ain't got a good word to say. I guess it's 'cause he was just as wild in his younger days. So blow you old blue northern, blow my love to me. He's driving in tonight from California. He loves his damned old rodeo as much as he loves me, and someday soon I'm going with him someday soon. Someday soon I'm going with him someday soon.
Thanks, Derek. Happy birthday.
Thank you so much. This album, do you feel like telling the folks about this album? How it became? Oh.
I know it's a great album by Tina Adair, who you might recognize as having played mandolin in the great band Sister Sadie up until just a couple years ago. But Yeah, she was kind of relatively unknown. She won a mandolin contest or a band contest, and the prize was to have a record produced by the great dobro player, but also record producer Jerry Douglas. And so went from being relatively unknown to having a great record produced with a bunch of really great musicians, and it kind of jump-started her career. So I recommend you check it out. I don't think they have many of those band contests happening these days.
Wasn't Kentucky Fried Chicken involved?
Yeah. KFC would sponsor some of these at the time, these festivals. So I think it was that, but yeah, it's worth checking out.
Yep. See, Eli doesn't sing a song in the band, so we set up a microphone, and so I have to make him use it somehow. He's a man of very few words, but he has a lot of really interesting things to say, don't you think? So. Thanks for introducing that one, Eli.
That's pretty good. Get an applause for just talking.
Thank you very much. Well, as you're going to get to know, via the set list tonight, I like to sing about a couple of things. One of them is birds, and the other one is flowers. So we started with a bird song, and we're going to stick with that theme for this next one. And Matt actually listened to XM radio one day when he was out running a bunch of errands, and he came back and was like, hey, I heard this old Laurie Lewis recording of the song called Singing Bird. And he's like, maybe you should check it out. Maybe we could work that one up sometime. And so we did. And so we're going to try it for you right now. And just for good measure, we're going to tag a little tune on the end of it for you.
Which one? I want to know.
I can't tell you.
We're not going to tell them what it is.
It's a
It's gonna be a
surprise.
surprise. All right, then.
That'll be a fun game.
Let's mess with Lincoln.
We may start doing that from now on.
I've seen the lark soar high and moan. I've heard the song up in the blue. I've heard the blackbird pipe his note, the thrush and the linnet too. But there's none of them can sing so sweet, my singing bird, as you. If I could climb that high tree, I'd rob that wild bird's nest, and I'd bring back my singing bird to the arms I love the best. For there's none of them can sing so sweet, my singing bird, as you. If I could lure my singing bird from his own cozy nest, if I could catch my singing bird, I would warm him on my breast. For there's none of them can sing so sweet, my singing bird, as you.
The birds are coming back. They are.
Thank you so much. All right, well, we're going to try something a little different here for you. And any Salamander Crossing fans out there tonight? It's a little bit of a deep cut, but Matt and I are huge fans of Salamander Crossing, and Ronnie Arbo, who was in that band, has ventured out and started her own little project called Ronnie Arbo and Daisy Mayhem. And yeah, there you go. And so Matt and I and Kris sometimes play together as a trio. We call ourselves Darlin' Corey. And we had the opportunity to do some double bills with them last year, and they're just really sweet, sweet people. And so we had a Bluegrass connection the night after we had opened for Ronnie, and we were talking to the guys about it, and Lincoln was like, oh yeah, I love Salamander Crossing. And he's like, you know what song I really liked was 5 Days in May. And you're like, oh my God, yeah, that is a really great song. And so we put that in the old list of tunes to learn, and we finally got around to it. And so we're going to try it for you right now. It's called 5 Days in May.
They met in a hurricane, standing in the shelter out of the rain. She tucked a note into his hand. And later on they took his car and drove on down to where the beaches are. He wrote her name in the sand. Never even let go of her hand. Somehow they stayed that way for those 5 days in May. Made all the stars around them shine. It's funny how you can look in vain, living on nerves and such sweet pain, a loneliness that cuts so fine. And find the face you've seen 1,000 times. Sometimes the world begins to set you up on your feet again, and oh, it wipes the tears from your eyes. And how will you ever know the way that circumstances go is gonna hit you by surprise? Well, I know my past, you were there in everything I've done. You are the one. Looking back, it's hard to tell why they stood while others fell. Spend your life working it out. All I know is one cloudy day, they both just ran away. Rain on the windshield, headed south. Oh, she loved the lines around his mouth. Sometimes the world begins to set you up on your feet again, and oh, it wipes the tears from your eyes. And how will you ever know the way that circumstances go is gonna hit you by surprise? Well, I know my past, you were there in everything I've done. You are the one.
Thank you very much. Well, we kind of put you to sleep on that last one, so we're going to wake you up here with this next one. And we're going to introduce the bass player for you, and he's going to sing you this next song. And as I mentioned just a minute ago, yeah, there you go.
That's some Kris Day for you.
Oh, my Lord. I'm paying these two way too much because they're hiring all you all to come out here and clap for them before we even introduce them. No. No, we're really lucky. Matt and I get to play in 3 different bands with Kris, and we always love sharing the stage with him, and he's going to sing you one. This is Kris Day, everybody.
All right, we're going to play a little bit of George Jones for you all.
Can't be. I'll be that empty space right next to you. When your phone don't ring, it'll be me. It'll be me not calling you, crying like I used to do, begging on my hands and knees. It'll be me not on the phone, begging let me come back home. Your phone don't ring, it'll be me. Well, it won't be my car out in your driveway. You might start to wonder where I've been. Those ain't my footsteps coming down your hallway. And when your phone don't ring, it'll be me. It'll be me not calling you, crying like I used to do, begging on my hands and knees. It'll be me not on the phone, begging let me come back home. When your phone don't ring, it'll be me. Begging on my hands and knees. It'll be me not on the phone, begging let me come back home. Your phone don't ring, it'll be me. When your phone don't ring, it'll be me.
Like we like to call him, King.
He's got a band. Well, he's got a couple of bands. He was in the, well, still is in, I should say he was, but King Memphis for years. Anybody know King Memphis? Sure you do. I got to give him a plug. You guys are open for the Fabulous Thunderbirds this Wednesday, right? I got to give you a plug for that at Aura. So check that out if you're not doing anything Wednesday night. And if you can catch the new Imperials, Kris Day's new Imperials, that's always a treat when he puts a Telecaster and plays junk blues and stuff. So keep an eye out for that, too.
You'll hardly recognize him.
It's a little louder than us, just a little bit.
All right, well, speaking of Ronnie Arbo, we're going to do a song for you that she wrote. And she sang this at all the shows that we played with her. And every time she sang it, it just it just killed me. And I loved it so much. And so I asked her at the end of our run, I was like, would you mind if I covered that? And she's like, absolutely, you can cover it. So we're going to do our little version of it for you. It's called Roses. It's a song that she wrote about, yeah, right? Isn't this a great song? She wrote it about her neighbor. She grew up in New York City, and she had a very interesting neighbor, and so she wrote a little song about her, and I'll tell you about her in song. Here we go.
On the streets of New York City, where the asphalt greets the sun, morning slips in sideways like a cheater on the run. Well, she's out there on the sidewalk, kneeling at her toil. She's pulling weeds for Jesus with her knuckles in the soil. Well, she has no Saint Teresa, she is no paragon. Her fingernails are dirty and her old blue jeans she doesn't talk to strangers. She hardly knows you're there. She doesn't want your money. She doesn't want your prayers. Because this is God's dominion. This is peace on earth. This is what she's put here for. Yeah, this is what she's worth. All the other things that mattered have slowly slipped away. Now she grows her roses. She grows her roses, and she grows her roses all day. She remembers a young woman with hair as fine as gold. She remembers all her lovers, and she remembers growing old. She remembers meeting Jesus. Well, she can recall that day. She gave him all her seeds of darkness, and he buried them away. Because this is God's dominion. This is peace on earth. This is what she's put here for. Yeah, this is what she's worth. All the other things that mattered have slowly slipped away. Now she grows her roses. She grows her roses, and she grows her roses all day. Now she coaxes home from concrete, and she coaxes right from wrong. She makes the Spanish ladies break into their Spanish song. And at night they smell roses by the street lamp's yellow sun. And they dream of summer dresses and the streets of old San Juan. Because this is God's dominion. This is peace on earth. This is what she's put here for. Yeah, this is what she's worth. All the other things that mattered have slowly slipped away. Now she grows her roses. She grows her roses, and she grows her roses all day. Yeah, she grows her roses. She grows her roses, and she grows her roses every day. Thank you so much. We've been doing a lot of new material, and I was telling the boys at rehearsal the other day that I have to make this whole movie in my head in order to remember all the words. And when there's a whole movie, then I know I've got all the words down. And I wish you guys could see the beautiful rose garden that I have in my head when I'm singing that one. Being a flower person. But we have come to the end of the night, and we want to thank you all again so much for coming out and spending your Friday night with us here at Meetinghouse Arts. I appreciate it so much. And a huge thank you to Giz back there for helping us with the sound tonight. We really appreciate it. Making our job easy up here. Putting up with all our crazy mayhem up here with our sound equipment earlier tonight. He was very patient. We really appreciate that. And to everyone here at Meetinghouse Arts for all the hard work that they do to make these concerts possible and for inviting us to be a part of it. We really appreciate that, and we hope to see you guys here again very soon. And before we go, I'm gonna just, yes. Before we go, I'm gonna just introduce these guys one more time because I just love them so much. This is Lincoln Meyers on the guitar.
That's Kris Day on the bass. Eli Gilbert on the banjo. Matt Shipman on the mandolin.
How about for Erica Brown playing fiddle and singing for you all these years?
Thank you very much. If you're not into emails and you want to keep track of our schedule, we have a website. You can go to ericabrownonline.com, and that has the most up to date, give or take, schedule. So we hope you'll come out and see us again sometime, and tell all your friends. We're on Facebook, Instagram. We have a YouTube channel, so we have some new videos up there recently. So I hope you'll stop by and check those out. And we're going to leave you with a couple of tunes here in the old-timey / bluegrass vein, and we have them on our album as well. And we'll come out and shake and howdy after this one. So sorry we didn't come out at intermission, but we figured you guys had a lot of things to take care of, so we just let you do that. But we'll come out and say hello after the show. And so like I said, these two are on our last album here, and the first tune is called Devil in the Straw Stack, and we'll follow that up with a tune called Cousin Sally Brown.
Ready?
much for coming out. We appreciate it. We'll see you very soon. Thank you so much.